Production.
Welcome back, everybody. We are at episode 6, and this is the coming of age. Frank, man,
I'm waiting for you to finish.
you're rusty, dude.
No, you
Coming of age podcast.
coming.
No,
of
man.
age.
Terrible.
I don't interrupt you.
You always interrupt.
Do I?
I'm pretty sure, dude.
No, you got to rewind the tape and check that.
Oh, that's
for
messed
sure.
up. Anyway, we're back at it again this week, episode 6. Again,
Coming of age.
thank you. And then, so then, and yeah, man, we've
I'm just gonna start doing that more often during the podcast. It's whatever I want.
we're six deep here.
Yeah, man.
Lucky number 6.
The 6.
Yeah, and it's been great so far. We're talking some real stuff. I hope that everybody who's listened thus far to any episodes or any or all episodes.
First
so
of all,
far,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
From me too, Frank. Thanks. Well, I guess we speak for both of us, anytime we both speak. But yeah, thanks, and again, any feedback in the future will be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hit him with the email.
Oh,
Let's do it now. So the end of the
coming of age thepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any comments, questions, good or bad, mean, not mean, I was going to say racist or not.
Yeah, no, listen, man. You can email us literally whatever you want.
And then we'll air you out next week on the
You can
next
even
episode.
send us e-transfers. We take everything. on
Hey,
deposit.
donations, man. Hey, listen, if you want to keep this podcast going, there's a 1-800 number you can call. But let's get into it, Frankie. What do you want to get into this week, man?
I don't know. Listen, we always have a good vibe. We always sometimes we just go on a tangent talking about anything we want, which is pretty sick. Oh, today, you know what? We can hit a quick topic.
Listen, everything we talk about is gems, you know?
True.
Well,
Well, this is a
gems,
gem for you.
Advice and perspective.
Hopefully, you listeners, you're going to come to a realization that everybody does this. But if I were to admit, I have this thing called a value index that I apply. You're going to ask me, Frank, what's a value index?
Frank, what's a value index?
Oh, I'm so happy you asked. Let me tell you, Azam. Listen, you know what? I'm not a selfish person. I'm not a user. I always like to bring, my pride with me. Pride aligns. Everybody eats. But I do realize that naturally, everybody has a person for a certain thing.
Especially as you get older, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think when you get older, you just realize it more and more. Some people are reluctant to admit it, but we are all users. We have people that we will call for specific things, whether or not you have that one person who you can lean on or who you can depend on. You have that person who, will come have a drink with you or go on a weekend bender. You have that person who will just say yes. You have that person who will say no.
You have that person that can die with your secrets. Azam
Absolutely.
will die with all of your secrets.
Everybody has that person who has their certain role, right? And the more and more you realize it, the more and more you actually use them for that role. Just naturally.
I'm in the group of people where, like Frank talked to me about this November time, right?
Yeah.
I think something like that. And I didn't realize, I'm probably in that category of people where, I didn't consciously think of that, even though I think that I'm so self-aware, but I never realized that until you said the actual title, a value index, a value
that's
thing.
copyrighted.
Yeah, copyrighted. Until you actually said that, I didn't realize, it was a aha moment for me, kind of shout out to Oprah. It was aha, yo, that's, you're onto something here that, we all do it. We all do it subconsciously. We all do it almost instinctively, probably too, right?
Absolutely. You know what? I think it even stems all the way back to, you can go all the way back to school. Think about it. When you had that tough assignment, what do? You go and you call that person who sits in the front row.
Yeah.
And who always has the answers, right? Or when you have that group work, you find the person who you like to chill with and or it's the person who just gets straight down to work and doesn't screw around. Lunchtime, you go find the social person. There's something for everything. And again, some people take it to the extreme where they are absolutely extreme users, where they only call you for
and it's very
something.
obvious. Yeah, it's very obvious. It's not it's not instinctual. It's very like
deliberate.
Yeah,
very deliberate.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Whereas other ones, it's just naturally, it's like, oh, we're gonna go to the club tonight. Yo, let me give this guy a call or this girl a call, because you know that they're just a good time, and you know you can have a good vibe, and they're not gonna cause no problems, right?
Yeah, and again, you have the ones that are doing the deliberate ones. Like they don't care. They'll start off with like, oh, how's the kids? How's everything? They don't give a shit.
Hey,
like,
by the way, I need this.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? And you can always tell. Isn't that funny? Like when someone calls, even if it's a close friend,
right?
I feel like I can always tell when it's not just me. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I can too. I can too. Yeah.
You can always tell when someone's about to just set you up to ask you something, because something's off.
Oh, and those people, let me tell you something right now, people who do that, you're not fooling anybody. It's just that the fact that the person you called is kind and nice and kind of is letting you get off whatever you gotta say.
Anyone. Yeah. Email us if you think you're fooling us.
Yeah. And now, so the fact that you have a cell phone now makes things different, because before times you could just not pick up the phone, right? Oh, yeah, but now people can message you, they can text you, WhatsApp you.
They can see that you read it, see that you received it. They can see everything. It's just like,
you could be like, send receipt when open. It's like, oh, shit.
Remember the days when what happened? I forget what it was, but just like weeks ago, I had to call someone, and I had to call them at their house. And I remember,
that's weird. That's weird.
They're
old people, older or young?
I wish I could remember who it was, but it was like someone my age, and their mom answered. I remember being like, "Yo, what is this right now?" Like, this is like going back to like grade 7 when you had to call and be like, "Hi, Mrs. So-and-so. Is thing home? Can I go?" You know?
Yeah.
It was so weird. Either way. But, so here's a question. So what kind of things do you think that you subconsciously, like, reach out to people for?
I mean, right off the top of my head, I feel like, if I was going to put it into a workplace environment, I'd probably say that in my roles as a manager, even though you might have a team of maybe 3, 4, 5 people, maybe more than that, you probably have, 1 or 2 people that will get the job done, will.
Now that's different though. That's in a work environment.
So. No, but let me finish though. But those are also the same people probably you don't, you may not go out with, you may not chill with, you may not like. So it's like that person will deliver. You and that person have a work chemistry.
Yeah, that's true.
But probably outside of work, you're either talking about work or you're not talking at all. You know what I'm saying?
There's no real
there's no other connection outside of work. That. Yeah. So if you're gonna ask me, I would probably say instinctually, I'd put it in a workplace environment where like, again, you have those 1 or 2 people that, and you probably at lunch or after work or before, anytime there's free time, there's probably a group of people, I assume, if you like your job and you like the people, like some of the people you work with, those are probably not you're probably not going to all your friends or work friends all the time to get things done.
No, I agree with that. Actually.
Because there are probably those people that, to me, and that's how I instinctually and probably deliberately would go to the 1 or 2 people I knew I could count on to get it done properly, or at least come back with me with feedback.
It's also situational, right? Yeah. If it's an urgent, high-profile task, you go to the people it's going to be 100%.
Yeah.
And if it's like a low-profile task, and you say, hey, you know what? Even though you might have to review the work or follow up a couple of times, the task isn't a high priority where you have to give it to someone of.
And on the other side of being, I feel like I'm one of those people that is always on the other side of that phone call, or the other side of the text, more than I am the one.
So you think people
initiating
reach out to you a lot? You mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
personal life and work, or
Okay. Like I've always been the one that I think I've always been the one that people will just start not confessing everything, but people start telling you their stories, or people start telling you their family members or friends. People even
people are easy to talk to.
Yeah, and that's kudos to me. That's great kudos to me. But
give you a pat.
Sure. but it's also being on the other end. I also don't think I have anyone I could call and say, hey, this is what's up, and I will get like something of how would you say, like advice that I could use or
Really?
Yeah, because
You don't think there's anybody who you can call
yeah, you
for
know, like
advice?
because there's like a thing about that, you know, like where you're the one that who always helps everyone, kind of thing, or you're the one who's always listening to everyone. But when you need to be listened to, it's like
so. Hang on, so you don't think?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So when you say you don't think there's someone that you can call for advice, as in you don't think that someone is capable of giving the proper advice, or you don't think that there's someone available to available to
yeah, in moments where I have like put an issue out there, typically what happens is all I do is get the issue back to me in a form of a different way of question.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So that always would tell me, okay, well, I'm nothing much is gonna come of it. So, and maybe that's what's made me, where I can like, I know that, okay, this is the issue, I got to figure it out. Not, hey, there's an issue. Hey, let me.
Because you know what, with my friends, a lot of my friends do, like, they consider me like a high confidant, right? Like, they come to me for advice, or to plan something, or like, there's so many times where my friends like, yo, it's my birthday, we're going out. I'm like, all right, cool, sick. They're like, all right, where are we going? I'm like,
they put it on you.
What do you mean, where are we going? It's your birthday.
Yeah.
I ended up, you know what I mean? That's just a very small example,
right.
But I still find that I have a handful of people who, if I go to say, yo, this is my situation,
right,
they can give me like strong feedback, really get into my shoes, so to speak, and give me like some stone cold. Some give me hard facts, some give me like the guidance to figure it out on my own, whatever it is. But I definitely have some people who I can list off minimum two people I can go to, for sure.
But that's great. That's great on your end,
yeah. That's great, Frank.
Like, yeah, that's great, Frank.
I ain't got shit.
I got nobody. And it doesn't mean to say that, like, because I'm very close with, especially a lot of my cousins, my girl cousins.
I was just gonna ask you about your family. How is it? With
yeah,
your
I'm
family?
super close, but I feel like I'm very quick to draw perspective.
You draw your own conclusions.
No, I can draw perspective in a very short period of time.
Okay.
So that if you tell me something that's so left, I don't overreact and be like, "What? Yo, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Okay, I can kind of see. I can either pull my own, or I can try to see how you would have done X, Y, Z." Does that make sense?
Now, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I don't like asking people for advice.
Right.
Like, I only do it if it's.
But I think I don't think people really a lot of times don't formally ask for advice. But anytime someone or yourself are telling somebody,
you naturally feel inclined to give them your.
Yeah, they say. I think there was a saying of like, you ever realize how many conversations when you have conversations with people, they're always telling you what to do. Like they're always someone's always telling you what you're doing is wrong, or hey, you should do this. You know what I mean?
You know what? One of my boys got upset at me. Like, this was years ago, and I've never forgotten it. I've always changed the way I approach this person.
Okay.
Where they came to me with something, and I listened, and I gave them, my advice. I was like, oh, you should do this, or maybe do that. And they're like, no, Frank, sometimes I don't want to hear it. Maybe I just want you to listen and not tell me something. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, you never told me. Like, you've always been cool with me telling you. Like, my bad. I didn't know that.
They just wanted to unload.
And ever since then, now I purposely don't say nothing. I just listen. I say, okay, cool. And I just ask them, so how do you feel about that? Or what do you think you're gonna do? Or what do you think would happen? Whatever.
Yeah.
And it's worked like a lot. Like, they appreciate that a lot more. I don't know if they noticed I did that.
Yeah, but this podcast is called a coming of age. That is a coming of age moment.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But yeah, so what are some of the things that, I'll start off. So some things that I found that I naturally lean towards specific people for, or I avoid people for. So one, of course, is if I just want to unload about just some kind of stress I'm dealing with, right? So I have my go-tos. Then I have, like, I actually wrote down a list. Like, I have go-tos for if I want to go drinking, because, you know what, one friend can be great for sitting down and having advice, but that same friend may not be so great to go and just have a drink have a good time. You know what I mean? I have my people who I want to talk intellectually with. I can't do that with everybody. I feel like some people are just really stripping to these days. Like, they don't They're not aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I know a girl who, if I went to them right now and say, "Hey, do you know what's going on over in Iran and the U.S. tensions?" She'll be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm gonna go there tomorrow.
Right.
No, you don't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then of course I have my people I can talk about with work, and I find that I have very few people at work who I actually spill my personal stuff into. Like
well, work is kind of like work. You know how they say you have like a work family.
Yeah.
Thing? Like work is like family because you don't choose. You don't choose those people. You apply for something, you go there, and you didn't choose the people that are like you're sitting with or in this meeting with. So you're kind of stuck with these people. Whereas when you're home, you're kind of stuck with your parents or your siblings. And like if you don't want to talk to anyone, you can just go to your room if you have a room of your own kind of thing.
So how do you deal with people who they want to use you for something? Use is the wrong word, but they lean on you for something.
So
and you don't want to do that anymore.
So I'll always be that person, and I love it, and I take pride in it. Mm-hmm. But I also, through time and age and having a family, don't overextend anymore. Mm-hmm. Meaning like
well, like we said, you have a smaller clique, right?
But like meaning I don't overextend. Like there's so you and me are friends. I would, if you ask me for something,
thanks, bro.
if you ask me for something, so you've called me sometimes for real estate stuff, right?
Yes.
Literally, I've hung up the phone with you and I've called like three agents.
Just to clarify, he doesn't hang up on me. We finish our conversation
right.
and then he says, "All right, I'll be back."
Yeah. But I literally will like I'll do that for you because like you're my friend, you know. But
wait, are we like Casey and JoJo friends, or like
Casey and JoJo? What do you mean?
Or we're like Mike Lowry and what's the dude's name?
Martin.
Yeah, but it's not Martin. Will Smith and Martin. I guess you can say.
You only remember Lowry, man. Who the hell remembers Martin's name?
What is his name?
I don't remember.
Marcus.
Oh, Marcus, right?
Marcus. Anyways, continue. Bad Boys 3 coming out.
Yeah. Sponsored by. No, but like before, like if somebody like in my younger days, if somebody asked me something, I would kind of go far and beyond, and kind of like I would take a lot of time in trying to facilitate that request, whether it be something like, "Hey, can you help me with XYZ?"
So now you only help people who are serious?
No, meaning like I wouldn't like so let's say for example, you call me, right? And you say, "Hey, Azam, da da da." I say, "Yo, you know what? Let me link you back. Let me call this person." But I wouldn't go like travel. If the person didn't answer, I wouldn't go travel and try to find the person. That's like kind of overextend.
We have WhatsApp, we have text, we have cell phone, we have.
No, but like but I'm talking also back then. I'm talking like younger days too, right? That like before time, I feel like I would not take it on. Like I wouldn't take on someone's problem, but
you're willing to assist.
I would go further than I would now, and I think it's just because I value my time. I've always valued my time. I always say, the one thing, a pet peeve I have, if anything, I'm not a person that gets mad or upset. Like I'm very steady, very like aware, very perspective. Like I can draw in perspective really fast, which kind of levels. Like I always have like a level to me, I think. But I also don't. It sounds bad. I don't want to say what I was going to say. I was gonna say, like, I also don't like shoulder the load of someone else or take on their on their thing. It's not that I was doing that before, but I don't do it anymore. I don't know how to say it.
You just prefer not to do it.
Yeah, and more times I'll make a joke out of it, and I find myself doing that. Like I'll make a joke and kind of maybe switch the subject up. So pretty much not offering any advice, not offering any input, not offering anything consciously, because I know that the person on the other end, A, probably is not going to listen to it.
Okay.
B, probably doesn't. They just look for, that's something I learned. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but something I learned through time is that a lot of people just want to vent,
Oh, absolutely.
They just want you to, they picked you to be the vent.
That's like I said about my friend, like,
Yeah.
He just wants to let stuff off his chest. He doesn't need advice.
Right.
He probably already knows what he's going to do.
Right.
He just wants to say it.
Right.
And you know what? I found myself doing that sometimes where I just want to talk to someone and either one of two things. I don't want him to say anything. I just want to be like, yo, I'll tell him straight up. I'm like, listen, I'm not looking for your advice. I just got to tell you something.
Yeah.
Blah, right? Or sometimes I'll tell someone, I already know what I'm going to do. Right. But I just want to see what they're going to say.
You throw it out there.
If it's going to align with what I want to do, because it might add a little perspective or it might give me more confidence what I'm about to do or whatever, right? But I like to draw my own conclusions for everything, whether it's personal life or a business decision, a money decision, whatever it is. And then see what other people think and see if it jives or if I gotta jig it up or something.
The person who offers me the most perspective is probably my wife, Saida.
Of course.
Because I find myself asking her things I never would even have cared to ask anyone else. Like, I wouldn't even have thought to ask anybody else. But, like, not the fact that she's there, but literally I'll wait till she comes home and be like, hey, babe, let me ask you a question. Just hear me out. That's pretty much how it starts. Like, so it's like, yo, listen, don't wait till I finish everything I have to say, then give me all the feedback.
Yeah, instead of take your jacket and shoes off.
Yeah, exactly. But I find like, but I would say that's happened more later on in life too. That's not something that happened. We've been married 10 years now. I don't think that's something that happened early on. Mm-hmm. Just because maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just changing with age too, where it's like
as time goes on, remember relationships go through like stages until the day you die. Yeah. Right. At one time, it's like, of course, the exciting phase where you just met this person, then you get to know them a little bit more. You get to learn their work ethic. You get to know their intellect. You get to know their actual true character in different situations, and you just reach a point where now you've reached where you're comfortable to ask, like, you trust her advice or her, and
I think not even like, and like you want to just hear from that person. So I guess maybe for her, she's my
confidant.
Yeah, that one person but again, I wouldn't have. That's more later on now. Like, that's me now saying it now. Like, if you asked me 5 years ago, I'd probably be like, I don't really.
I also have a problem where it's funny how we keep veering this topic towards asking for advice. That seems like one of the biggest value indexes for us.
Sure.
I actually typically don't like to ask for advice. I like to have confidence, the pride that I can figure stuff out on my own. One of my mottos is I always just say I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Right. No matter whatever the complex situation is.
Yeah.
But everybody has that time where they got to go and ask that question. So that's interesting. No, I just wanted to see what you thought about value index and just the various ways that you use it, and how the fact that you recognize the fact that it actually exists and everyone is technically a user, but not to the negative way that is perceived. It's just you naturally use people for specific things, right?
Yeah, and I feel like I am the one being used.
Jeez.
more often.
I like how you end that one just like, yeah. I hear you, Frank, but I'm being used, yes, Frank. You know what? Actually, that's a good one to talk about because some of us have way more to offer than others, whether it's tangible,
and that's why I say that
I
take pride in it. I take pride in it.
Absolutely.
I'm there. I listen.
But you don't let yourself to be taken advantage of. Because I'm used to, and I you know what? It's still easy for me to be, not ran over, but it might take me a while to realize because I'm naturally a giver. So whatever my value is to someone else, whether again is advice or drinks, parties, hosting, whatever it is, money to lend money to, whatever it is, I like to be there for people. But at the same time, you gotta know when to be like, no, I'm not going to shoulder, like you said, I'm not going to shoulder this one for you. Like, you go on without me, or you figure this out yourself.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times more, like, again, I realized that, like you said, just to reiterate again, a lot more times, people just want someone to just listen, not say yes, not say no, but just listen and just hit them back with like, damn, so what do you think you're gonna do? Or hey, that's shit, man. That's messed up.
You ever have those times where you don't want to listen?
Yes, many times.
Especially when it's like the same topic. It's like, dude, I've given you advice before. You keep making the same mistakes.
Yeah, or when you know when you know someone is not listening to you, but they still want you to do what they want. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Like they're telling you all their dreams, their passions. Like,
yo, I don't want to do the dishes.
Right.
Leave me alone. Like, how many
times? Or like they have a business idea or something like that, and kind of want you to like jump in on this business idea.
No, I don't want to open a sex shop. Like, for real, dog. Drop it.
Yo, Bridget, I'm not opening a dildo shop. Bad man, I make dildo, yo.
Yes, speaking of that, if you go on the 404, do you drive on the not 404, the Gardner often?
No, not often.
For the past couple of months, I've noticed for the past month, they have this huge billboard.
Okay.
I forget the name of the company, but it's a sex shop, and they're always advertising.
Are We Naughty or something like that?
No, it's not Are We Naughty.
Oh.
They're always advertising these women like pleasure toys.
Oh my!
Every single time. Like, there's this thing, it looks like a stress ball, but it has like a hole in it. So as you squeeze it, air comes out. I guess you just like, and they also have these like, this guy's writing down notes. And they always have these slogans like, oh, air yourself out or something like that. I'm just like, what?
Air yourself out.
I made that one up, but they do have a slogan for
air yourself out. Spam put a voice on the billboard. Air yourself out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but like, yo, when you hear again, yeah, and like, so I hate thinking my time is being wasted, especially when I know the person is not listening. It's like, sometimes I think like, why is man even telling me this? Like, or why is this person even telling me this? You know, like,
pinkcherry.ca is what it is.
That's on the Gardner.
Yeah, so there's one thing. It's called the womanizer. This little toy thing.
The womanizer.
The slogan is "Scream your own name."
Yo, that's messed up, man. They put that shit on the Gardner, man.
Yes.
Kids driving by there, so going to see Raptor games and stuff.
Yo, they're like, "Mommy, why you scream yourself?" Like, what do you mean? Like, anyways, I think it's amazing advertising.
That's like when you're in the States, like there's crazy billboards, dude.
Is there?
Yeah, crazy.
Ever in the States? Yeah.
Yeah, there's like Trump ones, which are like whatever, but then there's like ones that are like like they're the ones that like there's 4 of them that are connected to each other.
Yeah,
asking you questions as you drive.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, and it's like sexually, like it's like yeah. I won't get into that. You know what? It's getting hilarious. Way far off topic.
Value index. Value index.
Yeah. Yeah, but I hate being like. Again, I used to like maybe not be annoyed by it, but I used to always think like I'm not answering this phone call, or like I know when I go to this gathering, like I'm trying to avoid
certain people,
these people, because I don't want to hear that shit, man. Like, there's some, and before time I would seek those people out. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's where I was going with the extending. Like, I don't extend myself anymore. Like, overextend.
Yeah. Because
you end up in these like half hour, 45-minute conversations that the person doesn't even like. They don't value what you're saying, really. They just kind of want you to agree.
Yes.
Or they want you to do what it is that they're...
But that's what I mean. Some people... So that person considered you or whoever as a yes man. And that's what some people want. They just want you to say yes to what they're saying.
Right.
And when you say no, they're like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah, or they ignore it completely.
Yes.
Like, and
they make excuses
going.
Or whatever. Everybody has their way of dodging. But, everybody has someone who they expect to serve. Even when it comes to sex, right? Perfect example is actually friends with benefits, let's just say. Right?
Okay.
Literally, people say, our relationship is going to be me calling you at some point in time to go and have sex.
Right.
That is your value index. And if you think about it, they always show these in sitcoms,
movies and stuff,
movies and all that stuff. Where
you said sitcoms?
Yeah, I did. What is it? Sitcoms.
Yes.
Thank you. Sip. Air yourself out, yo.
Air yourself out. Pink cherry.
They always show where it's friends with benefits, and the story is the guy or the girl starts to have feelings. When they start to have feelings, what happens to the other person? They're like, oh no, and then they separate because now you're stepping out of the boundary of what I use you for, and I'm not uncomfortable.
Yo,
with
that is a great one. Yeah.
So, like I said,
Seinfeld. Do you watch Seinfeld?
I love Seinfeld.
Yo, when Elaine and Jerry decide
Yes.
to like they're bored watching TV.
There's actually a song that uses that same conversation when he was like, "Oh, we're just friends. So if you go in there and do, sure. It's a really good song. I'll find it for you. I'll send it to you guys one time. That's the end. It was a very anticlimactic promotion of a song that I can't remember.
Yeah, great job there. Air it out.
I was gonna
Just
sing
air
it, but I'm
out.
like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Just air it out.
That's the slogan. We're gonna have a whole podcast on airing it out now. The womanizer.
The womanizer.
That's what it's called, guy.
I believe you.
I believe you. That's fun. All right, so how are we gonna wrap this up? What do you want to conclude with for value?
Yeah, again, like I don't think. Again, I want to make it perfectly clear. Not the fact that I have to cover my tracks or anything, but I think
don't talk to me.
Yeah, there's a value even in being the person, knowing you're the person that
absolutely.
People are majority of the time coming to you more than you going to them or anyone else. Really, like, there's a big value to that. And I think, you know what? And I always try not to get annoyed, or I try to always be there for whoever it is in that moment. But I also think, as you get older, it's important to not overextend yourself and know that, especially if you have a home of your own or a family of your own, that, going those lengths, maybe to appease or to help make someone else feel better, you kind of have to weigh those things out as you get older. Like, do you want to go that length to...
time is more precious.
Yeah.
Your time and your tolerance and everything is more precious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
the only thing I would add to that is whether you're the person who's, assessing the value, or the person who's being used, just for lack of better words.
Yeah.
Well, let's say the person being appreciated. That's better. Right. No matter how minor or linear the role may seem, I say linear as in like simple, like it could be simple, like I want to go play, I call this person go play ball or something, whatever. Right. Or complex. It probably means a lot more to the person who requires it than you, right? So again, if that person calling you to vent about the same damn topic that they always vent about, it's probably an extremely important topic to them. And whether or not you want to hear it or not, you listening for the 20th time means the world to that person, even though it might be an annoyance to you. Or that person who needs $200, you might be like, I don't agree with why you need it. But to them, it might be the greatest thing that happened to them that entire month, a year, right? So, understand. But
that's where you don't. That's where you got to weigh out. Are you overextending yourself?
Absolutely. So that's why you weigh out, like just how you assess your friends and say, okay, you're good for this, or your acquaintances. You have to realize what you are to that person, and again, like you just said, weigh it out. Say, okay, well, is it worth me going and doing this? Sure, it's cool to help the person out, but some point in time, you have to say, is this fulfilling anything for me?
Yo, something just occurred to me.
Oh, shoot. An epiphany?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm either a really bad person or very smart. Or both. So listen, something just occurred to me. So within this, I have just realized from the time I was young, I'm talking early teens, with girlfriends or friends, in order to pull back or no longer be with that person, like, are you someone, like, did you have girlfriend or boyfriends?
Why are you setting me up right now? Right? I feel like you just like switch, like, yo, hold on, let me throw Frank under the bus here to protect myself.
Like,
I'm ready. All right, I'm ready. No, hit me. I've had girlfriends, yes.
Okay, so were you ever the one to break up, or were they the ones always to break up? This ties in.
This guy's trying to pull some heartstrings, eh? All right, I'll roll. With all of my girlfriends or teens, whatever you want to call them, there's only been 2 occasions where I dropped the girl off.
Out of what? Like, would you say?
I'm not falling
10,
for that trap.
5,
what do you mean?
6?
I'm not giving you
I don't-
numbers.
So was it 2 out of 2?
What's wrong with this
Like,
guy?
you had 2 girls and you dropped 2.
This is coming of age podcast. This isn't a become a fool podcast.
These are my
Like,
confession.
What do you mean? Yo, this guy's trying to make me go all R. Kelly. And
So
Usher.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you straight.
Oh,
Every
shit.
single one.
You drop off.
No.
Oh.
I realize now.
Straight killer.
No. I realize now. Again, without heart or feeling, I would remove whatever I knew that person needed from me, whether it be my time on the phone, time in person, going out. I would take those things away in order for that person no longer to need me and then
The Lord
leave
take it.
me.
Away.
And I used to do
Or
that
give it,
a
take it.
lot. Yeah, I used to do that. I would know
Really?
that. Yeah,
That's
because
interesting.
that just occurred to me.
You
Like
did
I
this
would
stuff, like you consciously did this
all the time. I couldn't care less. I still don't care, obviously. But I mean, even that time, like that's what I'm saying to you. Either I was a bad person, because either I was a bad person or very smart.
That's
Yeah.
a hot. People can call that many things. People can call that
jerk,
bad,
dick,
jerk,
whatever. Yeah,
coward. They can
yeah,
say
yeah. All things.
Uh,
All things, and I'm fine with it because I'm open to interpretation. But I realized that, I just, as you were talking there, almost concluding this thing, it just occurred to me
but
that
also remember,
I still do that now, though.
Well, no, remember though, a lot of times, I do this with friends all the time or whatever. When you are, let's just say, done with a situation, just call it relationship or whatever you want it, you naturally start to pull yourself away, thus taking stuff away. So if I'm naturally done with, let's say, having a conversation with someone, I will automatically give signs, like I'll pull my attention away, pull my my eye contact. I will pull like body language, or if it's like I'll stop giving input, or I'll just start saying yeah man, sure. I hear you. Everybody, there's always some kind of form of that, right?
or you like say
you just were very specific. You're like, yo, I ain't paying for your phone no more. Lock off.
No.
You don't need me.
No. Yo, if my son ever listens to this, son, don't ever do that. I was never that guy. But
oh man, that's so funny.
But I'm not even talking about just. I'm talking about like girlfriends, relationships. I'm just even talking friendships. Even till now, today, like I'm realizing now as we're talking that in order for me to get my space away from that person, I then, as you're saying, I pull away and I take away those things that I know that the person wants from me. Mm-hmm. And then to them, I'm no longer valuable. Mm-hmm. I'm no longer valuable to that person. And it's just because there's no other basis for our relationship. There's no other, like... I feel like the
biggest indication or the biggest thing to take away, the most common, is your time. Right?
Time, yeah.
Stop being available. If you don't want to be there for someone when they call you, you don't answer.
Or sometimes,
I've been busy.
Or sometimes you end up leading people on. Like, so somebody asks you for help, I'm going to check on that for you. But you don't check on it.
Yeah,
because
you're not
like,
going to.
Yeah, you're not going to check on it.
To the back of your mind, and eventually they stop asking you.
Right. Exactly.
So,
wow, this is a good one.
There you go. I got you.
Yeah, this is a good one, yeah. But I've been doing this since I was very young. So either something's either wrong with me.
I'm telling you right now,
this is like a
whoever's listening to this, if you really sit back, have a open palate, like, and kind of just really think about your past relationships, you're gonna realize you've done it at some point in time.
Yeah.
Whether you're an extrovert, introvert, user, giver, you have either categorized or pull yourself or taken the rug for someone's feet, so to speak, and you took away what they valued in you because you eventually saw that relationship was no longer beneficial or healthy for you, right?
Yeah. Or you just didn't have the time for this goddamn person.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. That's a bad thing to say, I guess.
No, that's a perfect way to end it right there, guy. And one last actually thing to note is before we wrap it up, people's value can change over time.
Yes.
Like, people develop, your friendships develop, and someone can start off as just being, going out for drinks or cheating on a test, and then they can develop into a confidant, they can develop into a lender, a business partner, anything, right? Like, as you grow and you get more knowledge, you naturally, like, people change and they morph into a new role.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and people in their change makes them sometimes more valuable. And we're saying that it doesn't, not in a bad connotation again, but like maybe you just have more common ground now. Maybe they have kids and you have kids. Maybe they got married, you got married. You know, maybe
I feel like the
you're
kids
divorced
and
they're divorced. You know
really
what I mean?
makes a big one. Because think about it, if I call on someone all the time because I want to get my boy to go be a wingman and go drinking or something, right?
Right.
Once you get a lady and you're married, like, if that was literally the value, you're going to see them a lot less seldom.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So now you're going to be seeking the person who has maybe another wife. You can do the double dates or...
There's usually a drop. Like, when you get married, and if you're like one of the first people in your friend group to get married, there is a drop-off, I believe, in time that you spend now with your friends. But also your friends hitting you up. Like, that happened to me, I feel like.
Yeah,
like,
I think it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Because, like, even when I got a girlfriend, like, I still try to reach out to all my people. Say, hey,
yeah, but girlfriend different. When you get married, there's there's like a cloud.
Half.
Yeah. There's a marriage cloud that kind of hovers over you. That's kind of like...
Why are you making it sound like it's forecast?
No, like,
I think a marriage sunbeam or a nice bright sun or the full moon just gleaming down on you with, and it's all like, come on, man.
You can tell you're not married yet. See, the cloud.
All right,
this cloud is there, but it's like a thing where you don't like. Oh, he's probably not gonna come out, or you're more like, oh, I don't know, he's probably not gonna reach. You know, it's like that kind of like.
I don't know. I still think that's all. Like, I think that's that's up to the person.
Yeah, but like you'll say to me, like, yo, this guy's not leaving Vaughn.
Yeah, that's because you don't leave on. Like,
no, but I do leave on. But
for your kids,
all right, but see,
or your wife,
the precedent has been laid. That like,
I think I have,
and I also am conscious of the fact that as much as like our friend group, like me and you, Frank, and our group of friends that we kind of like communally know, like if we call on to like meet somewhere, it's. If there's 10 times where someone goes, yo, we should link up.
There's like half a time.
Yeah, it's like maybe 2 times of the 10.
And you know what? I used to do it. Like, I was, yo, let's do this, and this. And when I realized that, man, it's not reaching, I'm like, all right, well, yeah, I guess we're a group chat.
Yeah.
Group chat has destroyed so many friendships, man. You know what? That should be a topic one day.
Yeah,
the friendship killer, group chats. But we're going to lock it off there.
No, but again, like our thing, and also to your value goes up also when your life changes and you put value on different things. Your relationships change with people too, because now they have found common ground in you.
The strong ones survive, and just like our previous podcast, your clique gets smaller because your interests change.
Yeah, the circle,
mature, and your clique gets more orientated to your common interests. And as you get older, depending on how people mature or what direction they go in, your interests always change, right? And that's just naturally what happens.
Is that it?
Is that another anticlimactic?
Yeah, it's very anti. You've been on this anticlimactic end.
Well, because this is like a random pause there. I'm just like, all right, cool.
I thought you had more.
You did
more. You had me. You had me there.
That was a sick ass ending, guy. That was straight to the point.
That's it. That's it. End it right there.
Thanks for listening, people. Keep tuning in. Please let us know if you have any topics you want to listen to. You can email us anything you want. Comments, high fives, lows, negatives, positives. Doesn't matter. We want it all. You can email us at the following address:
acomingofage.thepodcast@gmail.com.
He's been practicing that. So he's been ready for that.
As
one
you started
moment.
to talk, I said to myself, a coming of age stuff.
I even made sure I worded it so that you knew it was coming up, so you had the mental capacity and time to build it up. I was ready. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Keep listening. Keep taking whatever you can from these podcasts. We do these as a hobby, just to speak our minds and to
our perspective. It's all our perspective.
Yes,
this is all right or wrong, but it's
no books, no nothing. This is just the years of wisdom that we've accumulate and just trying to bestow and understand.
Yeah, in 30 some odd years. I won't age us too much, but I feel like we're people watchers. We're very perspective-ish kind of people. I think we're able to see,
Perspective.
Yeah, does that make sense? Like, meaning, like,
it's like sitcom.
I almost feel like I mean, I feel like Frank's like me, where you can he can put himself in someone else's shoes and be like, okay, I could see why this person did this. Where do you go from this point? You know, and I feel like a lot of that is what we do.
It's all about understanding the other.
Yeah, and if we're able to help, and maybe who knows, maybe these podcasts help somebody.
Yes, absolutely.
You hit epiphany just like I did about being a bad person for the entirety of my mature life.
This guy just realized he's a jackass.
Yeah, really bad. I think about it. That's pretty bad, man.
It's not bad. That's you. That's whatever you wanted.
No, like, I don't have a problem with it. I could see myself being the heel or the villain in a movie kind of thing. It was like, oh, what a jerk this guy is.
People have done way worse. To break up, people purposely cheat or purposely, do some really shady stuff.
Yeah, I guess so.
You simply just took away their will to live.
Or like their trust. Or like their happy moments in time.
Yo, alright, let's stop this before I get you in trouble, guys. We good. See you guys next episode. Thanks.
Yeah, man, we out. Cheers.
Chucky.